So, Conor McGregor and Michael Chandler are going to be coaching The Ultimate Fighter for the next season, and there's a lot to say about this. To start off positively, I would like to say this is a huge thing for the show and will possibly revive it after the recent downward trend it's been on. My first ever exposure to MMA was this show, and it's really saddened me to see the fans turning on it the way they have been recently. But to have the sport's biggest superstar making his return as one of the coaches is huge. If anyone can bring excitement back to Tough, it's going to be Conor McGregor.
Fucking move. Who the fuck is that guy? Who the fuck is that?
From the interviews he does with press to inside the octagon, Conor has an undeniable presence and excitement he brings. Another man capable of bringing this excitement, certainly within the octagon, is Michael Chandler. However, I've heard a lot of concerns regarding how Michael Chandler will handle the talk, specifically. People generally think he's going to be nothing but thankful and humble, and this will cause Conor to not really be able to work his magic. They think that Michael Chandler is going to make the show boring, in a sense. And I just don't think this is the case, however. I think for the most part, Chandler will be relatively tame, but all men do have an ego, and I think Chandler will play off of Conor's energy, and eventually there's bound to be some moments where something interesting happens. Personally, Chandler wouldn't have been my first choice though, especially if this fight will be contested at welterweight. Masvidal and Tony Ferguson, in my opinion, are the two guys who would have the most hype as well as the most entertaining reactions with Conor. Masvidal, obviously, that whole BMF thing with Nate, he was a big superstar back then after the Askren knockout, but he's been on a downward trend lately in the top of the division trying to become a champion and further extend that career, but he's kind of settled into a somewhat super fight-ish mode for him. They have him booked against Gilbert Burns, which I guess is a big fight. After Gilbert fought Hamzat, his name's been kind of more pushed out there and whatever, but yeah, Tony Ferguson as well. I think he brings a lot to the table in terms of marketing and promotion. I think the trash talk with Tony would personally be the best of the three options I've listed so far. And I do also think it's the easiest fight for Conor to win. There's the argument to be made that Chandler has more of a glass chin than Tony, but I do think Tony's just kind of lost his offensive edge he used to have, and obviously there's the questions of if he's wearing down at all, especially after his last knockout loss. Or no, he didn't even, his last fight wasn't even the knockout loss. He lost to Nate. He got submitted, didn't he? So yeah. But yeah, Tony, he's in a worrisome spot in his career, major losing streak, and I do think that's a prime moment for Conor to jump in and kind of finish him off in a way. It's sad to say, but yeah, I think if they wanted to give Conor the easiest fight, that's what they would have done for him, and Masvidal probably would have been the hardest fight because he does have the best striking of the three of them, and I think that he's just in general more of a challenge than Chandler and Tony for Conor, because it's more of a direct clash of styles opposed to a wrestler who throws heavy hands but has a glass jaw, and a cardio guy who may have lost it. So yeah, but it is Michael Chandler, and I'm not all too unhappy with it. Let me know what you guys think, and I wish you all the best. See you at the top.